What's up, boppers?
Hi.
Today we have Screamer with us. Why don't you introduce yourselves?
Yeah, so we're kind of scream-ish. We're missing our bassist and drummer, but my name is Madaline Collins, and
Yep, and I'm John Wilkerson, so I'm the guitarist, and she does keyboard and vocals, and yeah, we're a thing.
So, how did you guys meet?
oh shoot, I guess it was a very brief meeting at Lamplighter, I guess a couple years ago. I think I
Mm,
still can't track down the very first time we met.
yeah, I don't know exactly when we like truly met, other than essentially just when I reached out to you for guitar stuff.
Oh
We had a
yeah,
mutual friend, and we kind of ran into each other a couple of times, and then you put up a Facebook ad. I need a guitarist, and I was like, I gotta jump on this
then I got
immediately.
two.
Wait, how'd you get two out of it?
Well, I lost my old guitar player, and I made this post. I was like, I'm looking for a guitar player, and yeah, it was him and Victoria Dowdy, who's incredible. And she's got her own project, so we stopped working together. But yeah, I got two for a little while. Yeah, and he stuck around.
I actually saw you guys at Art Salon
Oh
at
yes,
Minglewood.
that was
I think it was
literally
last year.
the biggest
or-
show we ever played.
Really?
Yeah.
I honestly, that was the first time I had seen you guys as a band because I saw John on stage, and I've known you for a minute now. Like,
6 years or something. I was doing
yeah. So I was like, oh shit, there's John. Like, I didn't know you were in a different band, and I saw like you guys had a good turnout that night.
Dude, well, I mean, Art Salon, because you know how incredibly hard it is. We were just talking about promotion and everything that you have to put into it, and we feel like we will go tooth and nail work all day just to get 5-10 people at a show. And these guys, it's Russell Sands, Colby Tipler, and Cameron Mitchell that run the Art Salon, and these guys just hit the ground running in Memphis and started making connections everywhere. I think that was the first show that they put on collaborating art and music, and hundreds of people, like nothing I've ever seen.
Like a charm.
These guys are just relentless in their connections and made something happen.
Yeah, I've loved this like collaboration of art and music in the
Yeah.
local scene because I feel like those audiences are so blended.
Right.
So it's cool to be able to like recruit different audiences to come together to
Yeah.
support each other.
Yeah, they got the timing of it perfect. Somehow you just kind of see everyone file in, start looking at all of the art that's positioned around the room, and then that first band played, and you just see everyone kind of turn around in unison, and then they start paying attention to the music.
Right.
The band stops playing, they turn around, look at art, look at art, and it just kind of worked perfectly.
The dream is alive.
So I know, I mean, I've known about your love for Pink Floyd forever, but you're also inspired by like Janis Joplin.
Oh,
I hear Sinead O'Connor in your voice.
Oh,
Is
the
that
Lion and the Cobra is everything.
okay? Cool.
I sat on the CD in my car one day and I was heartbroken.
Oh no!
Why didn't I look in the seat?
Somebody get her another one. So how do you blend those like classical influences with your modern sound?
Shoot, I really everything. I just sit at the piano and whatever comes out comes out. But I have been heavily influenced. Fiona Apple is big time the sole reason why I ever even tried this in the first place. And Natalie Merchant, Sinead O'Connor is definitely a big one. A lot of '90s women influences, but I think they've just kind of naturally ingrained themselves in me, even if it's subconscious, and I'll unintentionally write like them. Yeah, but whatever comes out just comes out. I think at this point, I kind of have to consciously say, like, don't use those chords or don't write this way. Trying to get more, not being in the mainstream is not my main goal, but definitely to get heard by more because we do want to be as big as we can. And so trying to maybe write more of a hit kind of thing.
Yeah, I totally get that because I mean, John shreds. And,
Oh, yeah.
Like, he could do like a 10-minute guitar solo,
Like
and
a
like it's so
motherfucker.
captivating. But like, yeah, I guess relating it to a modern audience too, because the type of songwriting has changed since the 60s, and yeah, so being able to find that middle ground. But I feel like you have a really receptive audience.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. We've had a lot more luck, honestly, going like an hour outside of Memphis. I I think purely because Memphis is truly oversaturated with incredible artists. There's one on every corner, probably two on every corner. Um, and so there's a lot of love to be spread around to a lot of people. But I think we've had a lot more luck going to smaller towns and getting larger crowds. We've gotten a lot of help in Memphis, especially some booking agents like Mark Barcel has been a really great guy in my life, honestly, since I was a teenager, helping me get booked, get seen by other people. He helped me get connected with Van Duren, he's like,
Cool.
yeah, he's been around Memphis since I think the 60s, and I mean, fucking incredible. Memphis' own Paul McCartney. I hope he doesn't get offended by that.
We could do a whole internet blurb about Van Duren. He's a neat guy.
Absolutely. But yeah, we really love it in Memphis. I think right now we're trying to focus our audience more outside because you can only get so big here.
Yeah.
I think.
Honestly, I think that's great for every Memphis artist to do, because it's like, it's great to be successful in the local scene, but ultimately, like, there's such a huge audience for people to listen to your music, and like
Yeah.
getting that exposure and just seeing like outside of the city, like the different
Absolutely.
types of audiences that are there to support you.
Yeah, and for anyone who's afraid to go out of Memphis because they don't think their group is big enough or it's going to make waves or anything, the first time you tell one of those bar goers that you're from Memphis and they didn't know that, they kind of light up.
Literally.
And the more you go do that and you come back to Memphis, and then they'll say, oh, you went to places other than Memphis. You must be doing good. And it swirls and it builds on itself. What
is the reaction when you say you're from Memphis?
It's interesting. They have this blended look of, oh, you've seen some stuff. And
we literally just got back from Bentonville at this bar called Trailhead Tap, and I tried as much as I could in like their local Bentonville groups and stuff. But this lady, a couple of folks actually came out and they were like, we saw your event page and saw you were from Memphis. I was like, oh, okay, I didn't know it was like that, but thank you.
Like a built-in reputation.
Yeah. Like, I think we're bluesy, cool.
So I just want to talk about your vocals for a second, because they are insane, so powerful.
Thank you.
Have you always had like such a strong voice, or did that develop over time?
Honestly, it has developed, but since I was 15, 16, I've definitely been passionate, and I think I've had a lot of power from that aspect, and that's a big reason why I started so early, and was lucky to have a lot of people say, don't stop, do this thing. And it's always weird when people give you compliments because you don't know how to talk about it the right way without sounding egotistical. But yes, I'm really proud of what I have, and it's been something I guess I was born with, but I've definitely come into it in the last few years, especially working with bands has been the big thing. Because before I was pretty much on a piano or occasionally a ukulele, and so it keeps things really mellow. And I think adding dynamic with percussion and really epic guitar solos and our incredible bass player definitely has done a heavier thing for my music.
Yeah, I feel like it creates the environment for you to like belt and have all of that, and it makes sense within the like structure of the
big
song.
Time.
Yeah.
And especially Janis Joplin being such a big influence. That is literally for our EP when we were going with Graham Winchester, I was like, I wanted to sound like Janis Joplin in the studio, like give me the scratchy, raw, everything.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Still remember Can't Go Back as I think the third song we recorded with Graham, and I was anticipating, we got there, we knew we were going to do vocals, and I'm like, oh, we'll sit in the room with Madaline while she does vocals, and eventually she's like, no, I need everyone out of the room because I'm about to get angry and I'm about to get in my head and in my zone, and I don't want any distractions. And so that's what we did, and it was a one-take wonder that you
got to get pissed off for certain songs. Yeah. You don't want your friends to see you that way.
Yeah, you gotta get in character.
No, and it was cool. You can hear it from the other end of the room. Like, this is gonna be the take.
So what's your songwriting process like? Is it kind of a collaborative effort, or does somebody kind of take the lead for one part?
So far, what we've done, I've had kind of skeletons just written on the piano and lyrics, and then when we get in the room, everybody kind of starts doing their own part writing, and things will mold into place or manipulate themselves based on what needs to happen in the moment, or if something needs to be heavier. And I think it's really important to keep everything open for suggestion. Our problem, I think, is we're just also awkward with each other and quiet, and afraid to step on each other's toes. We're like, oh, can't like, I want to say this, but we try to keep a really open space for collaboration and new ideas. What do you think?
I think so, and it's been really cool now that we actually have the four that we've been working with for this long, because we wrote the EP before getting Dee as a bass player, and I did bass on that. We wish we'd waited 2 more weeks to
I
play bass with
swear
Dee on that.
it took too long. We were like, we got to get this thing out now.
Yeah, but now that we've actually written some songs with Dee, it's really cool because like Lane does usually dynamic changes or suggest how loud or soft something's gonna be, or how long or short a part's gonna be. But Dee will suggest entirely new little spaces and sections in a song. There was one point where we finished out our new song we're gonna record at U of M, and Dee's like, well, why don't we just do a little section where I just play a little E chord for a real long, drawn out time, and we'll build it into the end of the song. Basically, just adds another minute and a half of the song that we would have never thought to.
That's really cool. And I feel like that also affects your songwriting, like as a songwriter or like a lyricist, when you have other people giving input of
Absolutely
musical things that they hear that you probably wouldn't have heard before.
It's definitely helped me develop into something I really didn't think possible. You know,
so cool.
And kind of catapulted. We've kind of catapulted each other, I think, honestly, in the music scene, and getting somewhere with everybody's sound merging so well together. And yeah, when we get in the room, it's pretty natural. It's not been with a lot of musicians. I really felt so natural in a room, you know.
Oh, I love that. All right, so let's talk about The Devil in Me EP.
Woo! Spooky.
First of all, it looks incredible. Where did y'all get this done?
Oh, okay. So shit, was it CD Baby? No, so I got it made on Disc Makers, but Ben Woolley is our photographer, and he is just incredible. I wanted to do a whole whiteout kind of thing, so we got to go downtown and get in our suits, take all these. But yeah, Ben Woolley is the front and back photo. The back one we got to take in my apartment. We did like a little tea party kind of thing. Aww. Yeah, so, and then I told you Adobe Express seriously is incredible, my best friend. And so just like type in the words, do a little editing, boom. Yeah, and Disc Makers was semi-affordable. I don't want to say so affordable.
All right, let's talk about Red and Black.
Oh, yes. So Red and Black, very sultry, sexy song.
Love the cover, by the way. Whose belly is that? You?
That's my
very KKW.
It's mine.
He took the photo. Yeah, I got just red light bulbs at Urban Outfitters on clearance, and was like, this seems cool. And I again wanted it to be really sexy. Femininity was kind of the idea behind it, and really being secure in, like, men can all day long, ooh, like, that kind of thing.
Yeah. And
this is just like meeting somebody in a bar and just the physical attraction first off, and being totally obsessed and entranced with somebody, whether it's short, long, whatever. Yeah, just a sultry jam.
Yeah, I also like, I guess, how you express femininity, because there's strength and there's power in your vocals, and like I love that juxtaposition of like sultry and sexy, but then you're also owning your own strength and your own power in that. And yeah, I like that blend a lot.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Gosh, I'm trying to think of the right words, but I really feel like whenever I meet somebody and it's just like, yeah, well, I got to just kind of the used and abused kind of thing, and I'm like, no, it doesn't really have to feel that way. Women can so feel okay with a one night stand, or just having fun and being secure in that, and it's not a shameful thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
Are y'all working on another EP, or?
We're about to go work on a single with the U of M. He actually got to produce Red and Black that we released, so we've been trying to do more home recordings. But University of Memphis, they've got students, and they're picking individual bands to start tracking. I think just for student projects. but we're gonna get to do a single with them starting tomorrow.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I am so excited. It's kind of the best of both worlds for that kind of stuff, because we've done now a studio that we've paid someone and we're on their time essentially. And when we mess up something and we got to backtrack or scrap something, it's like, well, that's $40 down the drain. And we've also done home recording, which is you're working with what you buy, and what you don't spend in money, you spend in time and everything. But you miss out on whatever equipment you didn't buy. So now you can go in for free, and yeah, you're still on someone else's time, but you actually get the equipment, and yeah, it should be perfect.
Nice. That's so cool.
I'm really excited.
We're working with teachers that I used to work with too, so I'm excited.
Their name is Summer. I hate that I don't know your last name, Summer. I'm really ashamed. But yeah, we've only just met. But we get to start working with them tomorrow. I'm really excited. Yeah, very excited.
Yeah.
We haven't written a new song since Red and Black, which has been like a year and a half ago or something like that. This next one's called Wild Child, and just excited. New stuff. It's been a while.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
So psychedelic rock, you kind of create an atmosphere, like a world to kind of get swept into.
Absolutely.
So how do you want your audiences to feel when they listen to your music?
Ooh. Truly, I'm one of those people, you feel every emotion, and I think it's going to take you kind of on a roller coaster, and each track, at least that we've released so far, is so different. We've got something really sweet and romantic. We've got the sexy. We've got the raw, painful. I think it's just really important to tap in and feel everything you can feel, and not just with our music, with any situation you're in. Everything.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no! I'm on the spot.
I don't know
No
what
worries.
to add.
Listen to the epic solos. They are really epic.
The solos are epic. Okay, do you guys prefer live performance or in studio? You're like
Live.
John's like,
It's
Studio.
a tough call. Most of the time the studio, but I have seen some real magic happen live. So, especially with our stuff. It's been a lot of the case with the first EP. I especially went into those songs like, yeah, we rehearsed the songs, we played them live a bunch of times, but I specifically didn't want to nail down parts that were played the same way every time until the recording. They were real challenging in the studio, and whatever was laid down at that point, if it was approved and liked, I was like, well, that's part of the song now. And then just live for the next 3 or 4 months, you start to change it. You start to make it even a little better. So I think our live versions of the 4 EP songs might sound a little better than the EP in actuality.
Oh yeah. The EP wasn't an incredible rush, but it was a little more than we would have liked to. Again, because you have a certain amount of hours, or it's going to cost you a lot more money, and so you don't really get to take as much time as you would like.
Mm-hmm.
And we were still more fresh with each other as a band, so I think we've drawn together more, honestly.
But there is also that like classic 70s magic of when you hear that part. That was the first time it was ever played like that.
Yeah.
And that's how it was done in the early days. So I think that kind of comes through.
I also think we're pretty different in this way. He's really methodical in how he writes, and again wants everything to be perfect because it should. But he truly has the patience just naturally in himself, and I'm not that way. So I think I like just live performance more because it is just one and done. You get to feel all that. It's therapy. It's getting to just scream out all my emotion all at once, and that's enough for me. And I love just playing for new people, and they're like, whoa, it's such a cool thing. I love that feeling. But he's very more the methodical dude.
I think my U of M education helped with that for Tim Goodwin, God rest his soul.
put that degree to work, you know.
Yeah. I never got the degree.
Oh,
call the money.
There would be a bunch of times a jazz teacher, he would say, all right, bass player, you play a solo. And he does it. And then he says, all right, that was great. So tell me, why would you play an E flat in G minor? And then just the whole room would suck silence. It's like, you could kind of get any answer, but now that he framed it in this way, it's like, everything is wrong.
Okay, if you could tour with any artist from the 60s, 70s era, who would it be?
Oh no. It has to be one.
You can give a couple.
She said we can get more than one. Okay, okay.
The one option thing always makes people so nervous.
It would be Janis Joplin and Fiona Apple.
Solid.
Very solid. Jimi Hendrix. I'm just staying away from his bandanas.
Okay, what's a surprising artist or song that you guys are listening to?
Surprising. Oh, Brian Pavo. Shit. Fly now, get in off the rain. Okay, I have to look for his name now. Okay, Brian Prothero. You read it. Oh God, I'm sorry, my brightness is so low.
I've never heard of him.
I don't really know what era he's from. I think it's the 70s, but it just came on my like daily mix one day.
Yeah.
What is this? I love it. In new news, anyway.
Yeah.
This is completely out of pocket, but Slipknot, actually.
Really?
Yeah. They put out a bunch of new albums since they lost their bass player, who used to be their main songwriter, and I've just kind of been listening to old Slipknot versus new Slipknot. I'm like, I know it's kind of for kids, but I like it. You can feel they've changed their whole dynamic around that to try and create some new version of what they used to do, and I like that.
That's interesting. I didn't know they were doing that.
Yeah. They got like 4 new albums out, and I just didn't look at them until like a couple of months ago. I was like, I've been behind.
Okay, you guys give a fun fact about the other that we wouldn't know.
No.
Ooh, I know one. She likes country music sometimes.
I feel like that's on trend now. That's like not even embarrassing.
Oh gosh, why is this so hard for me?
What is this? I don't know why.
I'm
trying to think of something better than that, but
you're like really good at the classical guitar. But that's not a surprise. Like, you're just good at guitar. Oh no. Pass. I pass. What are fun facts? Define fun fact.
Just like something about his personality, or like a movie that you guys like that's embarrassing, or I don't know.
Okay, this is not embarrassing. Spinal Tap.
I was about
fantastic.
to go to Spinal Tap land.
If y'all haven't seen Spinal Tap,
that is our favorite movie. Y'all gotta go watch that if you haven't.
I think that's my dad's favorite movie. Also, I like grew up on that movie.
Would you just make 10 louder?
So, what advice do you guys have for either a female artist or a band just starting out?
Really hit the ground running, and you're gonna want to work for it as incredibly hard as you can, like almost like a full-time job. And it's gonna be really fun at first, and then it might suck for a little bit. And I think once you get to a certain place, and you start seeing you're gonna get noticed by a lot of people, and you're gonna want to get pulled in a lot of directions, it's kind of a time to hone into your own and say, I'm getting noticed for a reason. And I think that that's a really important time to kind of almost recluse yourself and say, what am I doing right? And what am I going to do next? Because now I've been seen. And just always making moves, and always working for it, always changing.
Yeah, just to tack on to that, just don't be afraid to not listen to advice after a certain point.
Absolutely.
I know this is advice that we're given right now, but especially when you run into people on the street and they just got to tell you what you can do better after a show or something, don't be afraid to not listen to that, because they obviously were drawn in enough to notice, and now they want something out of you, so they're going to tell advice based off of that. That's not something you really want to follow.
There are so many more layers, I think, to this. Some that we don't even know yet. We're still learning and throwing spaghetti at the wall, but so many more layers than you would ever expect, and it's extremely hard. There are a lot of people on the grapevine, and they all got something different to say about you, and you got some, you hear a lot of news. I think it's really just important to listen to your heart in a lot of things, because it's snaky out here. It's really seedy and it's incredibly hard. But it is really fulfilling whenever you are so into your own and you know you're not doing anybody wrong, and just doing the best for yourself. And also bring others along with you. The more community you have, I think the further you're going to get. And a lot of people, I don't think, understand that.
Yeah, that's something I have noticed about this new scene, especially with the women, like the female artists here. Like everybody comes together to put on like these really cool shows with like really good names that are all like on the same playing field, you know, and it's really cool seeing everybody come together. But it seems like you guys have this like genuine connection with each other and this like authenticity to support one another. I think you guys like each other. Might just be for the camera, but but I think having that around you is so important to keep going, because you know you do, like at the beginning it's like, yay, things are so exciting and new, and then you kind of reach a plateau. Or it's like, do I want to continue this direction, or people are telling me to do one thing and I don't agree, and where do I go from here? So having that, like, I guess those people around you that have your best interests and know what you want to do helps
big time. I've worked with several artists in the past, and people say that they want to get to a certain place and you want to be as big as you want to be, but again, it goes back, it's a lot of work, more than you would expect, and it means playing sometimes 3-4 gigs a week, not all the time, you know, but there are people who do not want to do that with you as a team member, and you need ride or dies, people who are going to do this all the time with you, because it is it's an all the 24/7 really. But I worked with musicians who won't play cover songs. They won't go play a 3-hour gig. It's like, you're going to have to get past that, because I understand, or maybe not all the time. That's not good advice for all the time, because there are some musicians who are so able to cultivate their own and get really far with just their independent music and not having to conform to anybody. But I think for the most part, that's not the case. And so you do kind of have to conform and learn hit songs. Like for the longest time, I can't tell you how many people told me, play something happier, play like you're too moody. And I am very moody.
You need to go do that anyway.
Right. I'm like, all right, I'll play some Bruno Mars or some shit.
I'm so glad that I got to do the multi-hour covers gigs with you, because like I was in a couple of bands, one of them for 7-8 years, and they never did that stuff. They never played a gig more than 45 minutes of a set list, because they were unwilling or unable to learn the material for that amount, or even sit down and compile the material. But yeah, doing that gained so much experience, and also in so many aspects of playing. And it made my sound better. It made our mending with each other for sounds on stage better. And yeah, I think it.
And learning what people want.
Too. Exactly, yeah.
That was, it's a hard thing to understand as an artist, because we are so independent and we want it to be our way, and for people to understand how we perceive things. But sometimes people just want to have a good time. And it really did take me a minute to understand that. Because
it's a pick your battles kind of
thing.
Feel it!
Feel all these emotions, and sometimes people just want to dance.
But that could be an entry for somebody to connect with you guys, because they're like, oh, I might not have heard Red and Black before because it doesn't resonate with me, but then hearing your voice on a Bruno Mars song, they're like, well, I want to hear what else she does, you know what I mean? So yeah,
that happened a lot too. We would play an hour full of covers or something. It was like, let's do Devil in Me, and they loved it sometimes.
That's awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for coming.
Dude, thank you.
This was so fun.
This is incredible.
Wait,
I want to like take a nap
before you take a nap.
Oh, here are our missings. This is Lane Wade. This is Dee Torrell.
Yes.
Woo!
Cuties. All right, guys. So where can people find you?
So we live. No, I'm just kidding.
5-minute walk that way.
Social media, Screamer Music is our full band. We're also streaming on all platforms, Spotify, YouTube, all that good stuff. Screamer, yes, Screamer Nation. And I think that's it. Yeah. Well, we're not playing a show until next month in Memphis, Hernando's Hideaway on the 14th. So yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, stream Red and Black, stream Devil in Me, and go see their show at Hernando's Hideout.
Hernando's Hideaway.
Hideaway, sorry.
No, you gotta go. It's like a New York jazz club.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna be there, so you gotta go. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
it.